Now on WRDE Coast TV.
We're watching a line of showers and thunderstorms now moving offshore across Del Mar. But we'll get a break this morning, then perhaps a week around this afternoon with a cold front. I'll break it down on Futurecast coming up.
And one association is putting pressure on state and federal organizations to get started on some coastal resiliency projects. Why they say the time to do them is now.
Sussex Central lawsuit, the allegations by a former student that forced action against school administrators.
Pursuing Pennsylvania escapee, the new findings from police and the warnings being issued about the fugitive.
Injuries from fire as crews in Laurel rushed into that burning house. The extent of the injuries for 3 people who were rescued.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News Today. Your morning news starts right now.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. It is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, I'm Paige Marley.
And Paige, I am dubbing this Wet Wednesday. It's pretty clever, right?
I think it's pretty clever.
Oh, thank you.
I like it. It's true, too.
It is.
That lightning, that thunder, the rain.
Rain, heavy rain, woo.
It was wild this morning. A wild Wet Wednesday.
Oh.
Look at us. Alliteration.
Teamwork.
Yes. Speaking of teamwork, we're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahy. He has a first look at your forecast this morning. Good morning, Bob.
Must be Alliteration Wednesday. Good morning, Matt and Paige. That rain was thunderous on our roof beginning at about 3 a.m. this morning and then continuing for a couple of hours. But now we're watching the heaviest rain now moving offshore. Still some lingering showers near Rehoboth Beach. Even you beginning to dry out as Dewey Beach. Ocean View seeing a few showers. There's a heavy rain offshore in Ocean City. You're slowly beginning to dry out as we're seeing the storms and lightning moving offshore. We've got a little trough moving over us now. And then there's actually a cold front right along the I-95 corridor. That's a leading edge to a fall-like air mass. Out the door, watch for big puddles. Temperatures this morning in the 60s to right around 70 degrees. And the wind's still coming out of the south, out ahead of that front. And we could still see a few lingering showers as we go through the next hour or two. Then we'll start to see breaks in the overcast. Here's Futurecast at noon. Millsboro 79, Del Mar 79, so a little cooler. And also pretty nice along the coast, too. We could see one last shower with that front this afternoon, and then a good-looking evening on the way. And we're looking at, once again, maybe another chance, a little bit of light rain. Otherwise, things do quiet down and cool off. Get ready for a taste of fall. I'll have more on that coming up.
I'm ready for fall, Bob. Thank you so much. Months after the Water Resources Development Act of 2022, otherwise known as WRDA, opened up federal resources for a number of projects along the Bay beaches. The Bay Beach Association says these projects just aren't moving fast enough.
Coast TV news reporter Heidi Kirk is in the newsroom, and Heidi, advocates are putting pressure on DENREC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, saying some beaches will not make it through another nor'easter without WRDA support.
Matt and Paige, good morning. I've been reporting on WRDA since pretty much the beginning, and when it passed, there was a lot of excitement in the air about these projects. But now the Bay Beach Association says it seems these agencies are dragging their feet on them, and they say the time to complete them is now. Go ahead and take a look at your screens. You're going to see some footage that Coast TV shot on some of those bay beaches in Lewis. As you can see, they're shrinking, and they don't have dune support on many of those spots. Now, the legislation gave the go-ahead for projects like beach replenishment, expanded a national emergency repair program, and preparations for long-term coastal resiliency projects. Now, organizations like the Bay Beach Association say they haven't seen action from the Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin those projects. Now, Coast TV News spoke with coastal consultant and executive director of this association, who says the excitement about the passage of WRDA 2022 is now frustration.
Waiting through another whole storm season and waiting for relief next year. We're looking at a very problematic beach here in Lewis right now. Kitshummock and Pickering Beach, there is locations there where there's zero beach in front of the houses. Water is under the houses almost daily, if not daily. So yeah, there's tremendous need along the whole bayshore.
Matt and Paige, I did reach out to both DENREC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and they said there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we might not see. Namely, they said they're working on an agreement that will allow them to move forward with these projects, but they still said there's no timeline set and they don't know which areas they'll be prioritizing for these projects. Back to you.
All right, Heidi Kirk in the newsroom, thank you for that. Well, we've got more on a story we've been covering for you. This involves a former Sussex Central student who is now sharing her side of a story. It's generated rumors, put staff on leave, and now it's turned into a lawsuit.
So let's take you back. This all began at Sussex Central on May 17th when former student Anaya Harmon was pulled away from a fight with another student by an employee at the school. According to Harmon's lawsuit, the staff member pulled Harmon away, which caused Harmon's shirt to be pulled down and exposing her breast. This was all caught by a security camera at the school.
A few days later, the Indian River School District confirmed an unknown number of staff members were placed on leave, though the district did not say who or why. And days after that, Delaware State Police confirmed an investigation, but again, no details were made public.
Then months later, Principal Bradley Layfield's lawyer confirmed Layfield was one of the employees placed on leave, apparently for sharing uncensored surveillance video of that fight with multiple faculty members. Layfield's attorney defended that decision as a matter of school safety concerns. The student in the center of that video, she's now suing Layfield, an assistant principal, the school, and the Indian River School District.
And Coast TV News anchor Mallory Messner shows us the student is suing for invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and more.
It was a noisy morning when Anaya Harmon walked into Sussex Central High School on May 17th. According to court documents, she told two arguing students to quiet down, and a young woman, quote, bucked at her threateningly before Assistant Principal Erin Donovan pulled her forcefully by her clothing, exposing her entire right breast. Harmon says Principal Layfield sent her home, but the other student got to stay, and when she came back to school for graduation practice,
Dr. Layfield had came to me and said that he was glad that I was behaving. And after that, I haven't had any contact with them since.
It was after that Harmon alleges the video of her and a crude meme were circulated throughout school staff. Layfield's attorney Thomas Newberger previously said the principal shared the video with other staff members out of a concern for safety, saying, quote, the lawsuit appears to be misdirected at my client and an exaggeration of alleged injuries, perhaps for financial reasons. Anaya's mom, Tasha White, says she was never contacted about any of this, and it's been devastating for her daughter.
She didn't want to graduate. She didn't want to leave the house. She didn't want to go to work. She didn't want to do anything.
Harmon's legal team thinks the court needs to get involved for a number of reasons.
The pedophilic type of behavior which was exhibited over here by targeting a young girl and using that to get a laugh out of from the public at large.
Harmon wants to make sure this doesn't happen to another student.
I hope they're disappointed in themselves, and I hope they regret it. And if they don't regret it, then I don't know what else to tell them.
A mother and daughter calling for policy changes and for the removal of the Sussex Central administrators currently still on paid administrative leave. Mallory Metzner, Coast TV News.
Got developing news this morning. The manhunt continues for escaped convict Daniello Cavalcante. He remains at large in Chester County, Pennsylvania, after stealing a firearm and fleeing from a homeowner's gunfire. That was on Monday night. Now, late night, last night, just before 8 p.m., police say they also found the backpack that Cavalcante was carrying.
This morning, the Delaware State Fire Marshal will continue the investigation into the determination of the cause of a fire that happened Tuesday afternoon in Laurel. According to that fire marshal, 3 people were hurt in that house fire. It happened a little before 3:30 p.m. This was on West 2nd Street, and you're seeing video of that fire right now. Really just incredible video there of the smoke billowing out of that home and the flames. Firefighters went into that 3-story home as it was burning. They rescued a 76-year-old woman in critical condition, a 71-year-old woman in serious condition, and a 68-year-old woman who was treated for smoke inhalation and burns. The damage there is estimated at $175,000.
And staying in Laurel, the police department there says a school bus was involved in a crash on Tuesday afternoon. Police say it happened at the intersection of Wilson Street and Georgetown Road. According to police, one of 59 students riding that bus was taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. Meanwhile, the rest of the students were safe and taken to the North Laurel Elementary School to be evaluated by EMS, and then they were reunited with their parents. We are a year out from Delaware's primary. It appears we'll have a race to determine the next governor of the state. On Tuesday, current Lieutenant Governor and Sussex County native Bethany Hall Long launched her campaign. Now, this follows a previous campaign announcement for the position by Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer in June. Governor John Carney cannot seek re-election due to term limits. Primary elections are set for September 3rd, 2024. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, will you vote for any of the current candidates for Delaware governor?
All right, let's take a look at these updated results. These are updated from the last hour. 30% of you saying yes, you will vote for one of the current candidates. You already know who you're thinking about. 36% of you, though, saying nope, you're not going to vote for any of them, hoping for someone else. 34% of you are not sure yet. Again, this is just a little funny to me how close this poll is. Normally, there's an obvious majority.
Yeah, it's like a third, a third, a third.
Yeah.
There's not much difference between those three categories. One way or the other, we will have a new governor that will be sworn in 2025.
That's right.
All right, well, let's go. We've got a live shot to show you here. This is the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. We're taking you there. It's because in that building, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has ordered an inquiry into impeaching President Biden. The GOP has led investigations into the president and his family for months, and McCarthy says this is the next logical step.
Yeah, the impeachment issue comes as Congress has a lot of work to do. NBC's Bree Jackson shows us how both sides are responding to this potential investigation.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy launching an impeachment inquiry into President Biden.
House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption.
As part of the probe, Republicans are seeking bank records and other documents from the president and his son, Hunter Biden. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries blasting the effort.
Extreme MAGA Republicans have launched an illegitimate impeachment inquiry that is a kangaroo court, fishing expedition, and conspiracy theater rolled into one.
The White House denies any wrongdoing by Mr. Biden and says GOP infighting forced Speaker McCarthy's hand.
This isn't based on anything substantive. It's based on the fact that he is being attacked from his right and he's throwing them red meat.
This comes as Congress faces a deadline to fund the federal government by September 30th. Some Republicans threatened a shutdown if conditions, such as an impeachment inquiry and spending cuts, were not included.
No one is here interested in a pause in government funding. What we're interested in is taking the Biden boot off the neck of the American people.
I think this move by the Speaker is a move to focus on spending.
Congress must act fast to avoid a shutdown, the impeachment issue further complicating the matter. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Some Democrats criticize the impeachment inquiry. They're accusing Republicans of seeking revenge for the two impeachments of Donald Trump.
Still plenty more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, what we're talking about is signal construction, the progress for hoped improvements at Conaway Road and Route 9.
Also ahead, rip current warnings, what officials in Ocean City are telling you in order to protect yourself and your family from dangerous waters.
And flash flooding on the East Coast, the emergency situation in states north of us. All that and more when Coast TV News Today continues.
We traveled the country and the world looking for cool gems and antiques just for you, bringing a unique collection of items for the most interesting store at the beach. Here at Buddhas and Beads, we also buy estate jewelry, costume jewelry, gold and silver, or any antiques. We're always looking to build our collection. We buy one piece or an entire estate. We got a super cool shop, great prices, and we pay the most for your gold and silver. Come on in to Buddhas and Beads on Rehoboth Avenue.
Get in gear with Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3.
It's Free Truck Fridays, your ticket to a new 2023 Ford Ranger thanks to Pohanka Ford of Salisbury. Stay tuned to Big D and Bubba all week as they reveal the Free Truck Friday song.
Then listen to April and me to play the song. Be caller 10 and you might be parking a new 2023 Ford Ranger in your driveway.
Drive over to coastcountry.com for all the details.
Coast Country's Free Truck Fridays with Pohanka Ford of Salisbury,
where your drive to work
could upgrade your ride home.
Have you ever needed some help with selection and design layout in your renovated tile bathroom project, kitchen backsplash, or any other tile project? You don't have to go across the bridge. The professionals at East Coast Tile and Flooring offer the largest selection to assist architects, designers, and homeowners on any size project in all price ranges. East Coast Tile and Flooring has the quality, knowledge, and expertise you need. Call East Coast Tile and Flooring today for a design consultation.
For a great shopping experience, Furniture Gallery is the place to pick up one-of-a-kind signature finds to complete your home decor. Come explore our selection of handcrafted furniture and get all the supplies you need for your own DIY projects. And through the doors is Shore Marketplace, where you'll find the most unique local shops at the beach. With over 40 local artisans, Shore Marketplace is truly a local connection you cannot afford to miss. And next door you'll find Scrub Apparel outlets. All this under one roof with easy access off Coastal Highway North.
Just about 6:16 on our, well, what was a really wet Wednesday morning. Now it's slowly beginning to dry out. Tidal Health Cam from Seaford still dark and still kind of cloudy and wet. Watch out for those big puddles. A heavy rain beginning to push offshore now. Still hanging on to some showers around Bethany Beach back through Ocean Pines, but we're looking at that heavy rain moving away. There is a cold front back to the west that could trigger a few more showers into this afternoon. Out the door right around 70 degrees. And here's our bus stop forecast. The kids I know like to splash through the puddles. We'll be seeing a lot of those, and be careful driving through those. Partly cloudy off to school around 70 degrees. Then heading home, maybe a stray shower for the kids with that front temperature around 80.
Now, we had that big downpour just a few hours ago. We heard it on our roof, lightning, thunder. And this week, north of us in Massachusetts, they're dealing with flooding there.
Yeah, on a much larger scale, Matt. In Leominster, Mass., the National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency warning. Yeah, thunderstorms produced heavy rain. Yeah, check this out. Washing away roads and submerging homes and businesses with floodwaters. I believe they picked up 7 inches of rain in a short period of time. Some vehicles were submerged up to their roofs in some areas. That's why it's important when you get flash flooding, turn around, don't drown.
All right, good advice there. More events surrounding the 100th anniversary of the Delaware State Police. They got a 5K run walk scheduled for Saturday, September 23rd. According to DSP, this will start at 9 a.m. at the Starboard in Dewey Beach, and people can register ahead of time for a lower fee. That's opposed to signing up the day of the event. And state police say the race will benefit Camp Barnes.
Fall is the time for cool weather, some delicious coffee, and Apple announcements. The company held its annual iPhone launch event yesterday. The upcoming iPhone 15 will ditch the company's proprietary Lightning port for USB-C ports. The change comes after the tech giant fought a European mandate to switch to the more common charger. That mandate was aimed at reducing electronic waste and saving customers money by making one port compatible across many devices. Apple unveiled the iPhone 15 and the Pro Max, starting at close to $1,000. Apple, not the only one, revealing some new products. Ford announced its new F-150 at the Detroit Auto Show, as well as amid the possible auto workers' strike. One of the main new features of this vehicle will offer customers is the option of choosing what the company calls the Pro Access tailgate, which opens from the driver's side to allow it to be used even when a trailer is hooked up.
Still ahead, storms off the coast making for dangerous conditions at our beaches. The top priority for Ocean City's Beach Patrol and its warning to swimmers.
And that will worsen with time as we'll see Hurricane Lee passing to our east. It's starting to dry out now. Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam, a little bit of fog. Still very wet out there, mainly cloudy skies. We do get a break from the rain, then maybe another little round with the cold front this afternoon, then a fall air mass. I'll track it on Futurecast next.
Take aim for a great cause with Women Supporting Women's Boom Boom for Boobies Clay Shooting Fundraiser on September 16th at 8:30 a.m. Whether you're 16 or seasoned, join the friendly competition and rally against breast cancer. Plus, enjoy fantastic music, raffles, a 50-50 draw, and more. Register now for 50 clays, lunch, and an event hat. Non-shooter, we've got a lunch ticket just for you. For more info, visit womensupportingwomen.org. Coast Country Cares, presented by Spicer Brothers.
Fall's the time to give your lawn the attention it deserves. The cooler weather and optimal soil conditions make it the perfect time for overseeding and fertilizing. Visit Johnson's knowledgeable staff for proper steps using our lawn checklist to allow newly seeded grass to establish before the harsh winter arrives. Our grass seed is formulated for sandy soil on the eastern shore containing no inert matter. Also, don't forget to create your fall masterpiece at our Dunbar or grab supplies to feed your feathered friends. Johnson's Seed and Feed, your local team to keep your grass green.
Get wild on your beach vacation at Barn Hill Preserve. Join us for fun events happening all summer long. Find your zen at Kangaroo Yoga or a playful breakfast at Munchin' with Monkeys. Slow down at Sippin' with Sloths or laugh it up at Kangaroos and Comedy. We also offer daily otter swims, a unique experience only offered at a few locations in the U.S. Or schedule an encounter tour and meet our animal ambassadors up close. Barn Hill Preserve, the world of animals is waiting for you.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Your dirty vents may be telling you something. Pounds of dirt, dust, and contaminants are trapped in your air ducts. That's why you need a professional air duct cleaning from Stanley Steamer. We've been cleaning air ducts the right way for over 25 years. Our NADCA certified technicians and powerful equipment clean your entire system, extracting the dirt into our trucks, removing it from your home completely. For better indoor air quality and improved HVAC efficiency,
call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
It is 6:21 this Wednesday morning. That's a live look at Laurel on the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam, where the sun is making its way up, but ooh, it is still cloudy there over Laurel.
Paige, I am not seeing any sun there.
So, well, you can tell. Okay, the sun is up because we can see now, you guys.
It's light outside. I know what you meant. I was like, boy, the sun is hiding.
These guys take me so literal.
I'll stop doing that.
No,
Paige,
it's okay.
Truth be told, the sun doesn't come up for another 15 minutes.
Something's shining light on Laurel, you
Pick
guys.
on Paige Day, everybody.
There's a giant flashlight in Laurel then.
I just don't want the facts to get in the way, that's all.
It's okay. What's up with weather, Bob?
Pick on Paige morning. No, we love you, Paige. We're just joking around. It is getting brighter. The heavier rain is moving away. Make sure you scan the QR code right there. That will get you to the CoastTV weather app. I said Coast Life weather app earlier. Maybe Paige and Lee need a Coast Life weather app as well. But we are looking at the showers. This is a 5-hour replay, and that rain was thunderous on the roof earlier this morning at the station, and I'm sure you heard it as well, awakened by the lightning as well. But now we're seeing that shower activity pressing offshore. In fact, even along the coast, you're looking to the east, seeing the dark skies and maybe still some lightning out in the distance in Ocean View and Ocean City as well. And there's that batch of rain moving out. There's a little prefrontal trough moving through, and then we've got the actual cold front through I-95. And as that moves through this afternoon with a little bit of heating, we could still trigger a shower or storm. And then we've got a series of cold fronts. We like to see that in the fall. That means reinforcing shots of cooler fall-like air as we go through time. So it's reflected in our 5-day temperature trend. Average high is 80. We're right there this afternoon. Then we start to cool off. 77 on Thursday. The humidity will drop. We get rid of that dreaded humidity finally. Mid-70s for highs Friday, 70 Saturday, and 82 on Sunday. Maybe it's almost time to go pumpkin picking, right? We're looking at temperatures into the 60s and lower 70s out the door this morning. Watch out for those puddles. Some of those are still big. We're looking at the winds coming out of the south and still a few residual showers early this morning, so might need still to use the wiper blades and have the umbrella. And then we'll get a break as we go into the morning hours, and then by noon, here's Futurecast. We're into sunshine, 70s and 80s inland, and even mild along the coast, but I think the humidity starts to drop. Maybe one last little shower with that front moving through mid-afternoon, and then looking great this evening. We clear it out, and then overnight, I think we're in good shape. Maybe a few clouds tomorrow morning, but we're in the 60s, and then Thursday is outstanding. Lots of sunshine and temperatures into the 70s. Maybe a little more rain on top of what we've already seen. And as far as the humid, muggy weather, it goes away Thursday into a part of the weekend. It bumps up again a little bit on Sunday as another another front dries us out after that. Here's Hurricane Lee beginning to make that turn to the north now, packing winds of 115. It'll move into colder water and weaken from a Category 2 to a 1 as it's well off our coast by Friday and Saturday, kicking up the waves for sure. But watch what happens. It moves north and then actually bends west. So Cape Cod, New England, Maine, this could be making landfall in down east Maine with tremendous wind and rain. They could see waves over 20 feet from Cape Cod up into Maine and Nova Scotia. But for us, we're not feeling the effects, the direct effects from that storm. We're feeling the waves for sure, maybe upwards of 8-footers down near Ocean City. And then offshore in this tan color, maybe 10 feet, a little lower in the wave category, Fenwick Island or Rehoboth, maybe about 3 to 6 with the big waves just offshore, maybe up to about 12 feet. Then things start to subside as we go into Saturday morning. Your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 80 today with the showers and storms, and we dry it out. 70s Thursday through Saturday. Then we start getting lows in the 50s by Friday morning on into the weekend. It's going to feel that crisp fall air and that feel in the air. Mid-50s by the weekend. 77 Saturday, 82 Sunday, and still really nice into early next week.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now, we have developing news about ocean conditions. We are tracking rip currents along our coast as warnings are in place this week. Since it is after Labor Day weekend, fewer Ocean City lifeguards are patrolling the beach, and one beach patrol lieutenant is encouraging people to use good judgment before getting into the ocean.
As far as swimming in the ocean, our number one message always is keep your feet in the sand until the lifeguard's in the stand.
And before going for a swim, the Ocean City Beach Patrol wants people to call the station and ask which parts of the beach are being patrolled for that particular day. Well, after the break, signal construction for safety. We take a look at the work being done at a dangerous intersection in the Lewis area. CoastTV News Today is back after this.
100.9% classic country plays real country.
Draper Media presents the Shore Living Expo, celebrating health, wealth, and home. Saturday, September 30th from 10 to 4 at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. Brought to you by Spicer Brothers and Pohanka. Great demonstrations and interviews with Delmarva Life's Lisa and Jimmy on the expo stage, along with prizes and fun, including a weekend getaway to the Poconos from Destinations by Donaway. From crafts to home services, boats, cars, and RVs, this is a free event you don't want to miss. Go to WBOCevents.com.
Are you troubled by strange smells, uncomfortable rooms, or mold in your home?
Do you experience feelings of dread when you enter your crawl space or attic?
Does your home suffer from slopes, sags, or other structural concerns? If the answer is yes, pick up your phone and call the home performance professionals like FLC Energy.
Don't just treat the systems in your house. Treat your house as the system and call FLC.
We're ready to believe you.
From the moment you're in an auto accident, you're going to be in pain and overwhelmed. The insurance companies may offer you help and even a little money. But before you accept anything, call me, Stephen Norman, to make sure you get what you deserve. At the Norman Law Firm, we're licensed in Maryland and Delaware, so we know the law in both states. Remember, you take care of getting better and we'll take care of everything else. Plus, you won't owe us a dime until you get paid. Give me a call at the Norman Law Firm.
Are you gonna kiss me all night? How it is, but I believe that's how it ought to be.
103.9 and 106.3. We're local, we're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
We have an update now on the work being done in the Lewis area to decrease the number of car crashes. It's the installation of a traffic light at Minos Conway Road and Route 9. The traffic light is coming after numerous severe crashes and concerns of safety from neighbors. DelDOT says there will be some minor delays and lane closures coming up as construction winds down. The agency says this light, though, has been a long time coming.
We've unfortunately had a number of crashes there over the past several years, some fatally, sadly, and just the time has come to put a signal here due to the high traffic volume that we continue to see on these roads.
The project is expected to be finished by mid-October.
All right, so we saw on some of our cameras, cloudy now, but we do know, so we bring back First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahi, that we will see some sun today.
I see the sun. I don't
there you
see me. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, so we are going to see that sun breaking through the clouds a little bit later on. Our UV index brought to us by Face of Grace, a practice in sun safety. And the sun angle beginning to come down a little bit, so the sun not as strong, but we're still in the higher range of 6 today, but we have 7s Thursday into the weekend with lots of sunshine. So you still want to be careful, have that higher SPF, find the midday shade, and try to limit your time outdoors. Maybe wear a visor or a ball cap in that full sunshine. It will get nice with time, feeling like fall. If I could talk, I'd be famous. I'll have more in your forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thank you so much. Coming up after the break, traffic updates in Rehoboth Beach, what you need to know if you plan on heading downtown this morning. Also, the Bay Beach Association seeking to get started on coastal resiliency projects. The pressure they're putting on DNREC to get started. Don't go anywhere on Coast TV News Today.
Today at 4 on Coast Life, toast to diversity with Dogfish Head's Passion Pride beer. Get ready for school with essential safety tips. Plus, understand the signs and treatments for sepsis. Coast Life today at 4 on Coast TV.
It's always a good time to protect and improve your home's value. At Pinnacle Concrete Coatings, our highly trained experts are dedicated to creating beautiful, durable floors at a fair, honest price. And most jobs are completed in just one day. Our multi-step process uses heavy-duty, high-precision equipment to create gorgeous floors that stand the test of time. 4 times stronger than epoxy and resistant to abrasions, chemicals, and UV damage. And all residential applications are backed by a lifetime warranty. Call to schedule your free estimate. Pinnacle Concrete Coatings, because quality matters.
First Alert Weather is our promise to be the first to tell you when big changes are coming in your weather forecast.
Whether it's day-to-day weather that changes your plans,
or severe weather that could change your life.
The First Alert Weather team will call for First Alert Weather Days.
Here on TV and all of your devices.
It's our commitment to give you the most accurate forecast.
The First Alert Weather team, that's our promise to you.
Scoops and scores and Friday Night Lights. Football coverage like you've never seen before on the Delmarva Sports Network. Live game of the night every Friday, including the pre, half, and post-game show, Scoops and Scores. Plus, we'll take you around Delmarva for the latest real-time scores during Friday Night Lights. Tune in to DSN Friday nights this fall season. Scoops and Scores and Friday Night Lights, only on the Delmarva Sports Network. Local teams, big dreams.
On the next Tamron Hall, he went from one of the original kings of comedy to sitcom superstar to living up to his name, Cedric the Entertainer. Then Tam fan favorite Roy Wood Jr. is back. Next Tamron Hall.
Wednesday at 3 on Coast TV.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News Today. Your morning news starts right now.
September 13th, 2023. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Paige Marley.
6:32 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. It's a hump day, and it's a wet start to the day.
Yes, I would recommend at least rain boots. Because if the rain isn't falling, there's probably still some puddles.
Definitely. Good call on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, who can make a better call than First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahy? We'll bring him in to explain the rest. Good morning, Bob.
Oh, thanks, Paige. Good morning to you and Matt. And yes, you need the rain boots, not necessarily for the rain falling, but the rain below you, the big puddles. And I know the kids like to stomp through the rain and the puddles, so make sure they have their rain boots out the door. Grab the umbrella, too. The heavy rain has moved offshore. We had the thunderous heavy rain from about 3 to 5 a.m., and it is drying out. We had the rain along the coast, but now it's just cloudy skies all across Delmarva. We're seeing the rain sliding away. There's a cold front back to our west. That's a leading edge to fall-like air. Out the door, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Wind still coming out of the south ahead of that front. And we could still see a few residual light showers this morning, nothing like we had earlier. Then we'll start to see some breaks. Mid-morning, 70s, and then we're into the sunshine at noon, close to 80 inland areas, so it's going to be nice. And with that front early afternoon, maybe a stray shower or storm, then we're finally done. We clear it out as we go into the evening. Today's checklist, throw the umbrella in the car. You might need it. Rain boots for the big puddles. Watch out for those. Don't drive through those very fast. Keep the summer gear handy, the flip-flops, shades, and the sunscreen as well.
Will do, Bob. Thank you. The Bay Beach Association is putting some pressure on DNREC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin coastal resiliency projects opened up in the Water Resources Development Act of 2022.
Yeah, CoastTV News reporter Heidi Kirk is going to join us. She's in the newsroom. And Heidi, excitement about WRDA in 2022. It's now frustration for some people who say these projects are not moving along like they should.
Matt and Paige, I remember when WRDA passed. I covered this from the beginning and everyone was really excited, especially those people who live right on the coastlines, especially the bay shores. But now the Bay Beach Association says it seems like some agencies have been dragging their feet to get these projects started. Now, go ahead and take a look at your screens. You're going to see some footage that CoastTV shot down on some of those bay beaches, especially in Lewis. The beach is shrinking and it doesn't have much dune support left. Now, that legislation gave the go-ahead for projects like beach replenishment. It expanded a national emergency repair program and prepares for long-term coastal resiliency. Now, organizations like the Bay Beach Association say they haven't seen action from the Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin some of these projects. Now, CoastTV spoke with coastal consultant and executive director of the association, who says that excitement about the passage of WRDA is now frustration. So CoastTV reached out to both the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and DNREC, and they actually said there's a lot you don't see behind the scenes. They're working on drafting an agreement that will allow them to move forward with some of these projects, specifically beach replenishment. But they did say they don't have a timeline just yet, and they're not sure exactly which areas along the coast will be prioritized. And those are exactly the details that the Bay Beach Association says they need to have. Back to you.
Now, Heidi, the association was formed to advocate for those beaches that often aren't prioritized along our bay shores.
And the association says there are some real long-term consequences if this work doesn't get done.
Many people are fearing those long-term consequences, specifically as the water continues to erode and more nor'easters roll through. The dune is continually eroded, and as the water creeps up and those beaches get smaller, advocates like the Bay Beach Association say that water is going to creep closer to homes and essential infrastructure on our coast. And they say this action needs to be taken before that happens. Back to you.
All right, Heidi Kirk in our newsroom. Thank you for that. Well, happening today, traffic update out of Rehoboth Beach. Just a few hours from now, the city says that the drawbridge on Rehoboth Avenue will be undergoing routine maintenance. That bridge will be raised and opened starting at 10 a.m.
We have an update now on a murder investigation in Laurel. Delaware State Police have identified the victim of a September 10th homicide as Taylor German, a 26-year-old woman. German is from Laurel, Delaware. State Police say they are still searching for the suspect in this murder case. We also have some developing news out of Georgia. This is Fulton County's Democrat District Attorney Fannie Willis made another push Tuesday to hold one trial in October for all 19 defendants in the Georgia election subversion case. The judge in this case is expected to issue a decision in the coming days, but has already expressed some heavy skepticism of holding one joint trial. Some of the defendants have already invoked their right to a speedy trial. Others, including former President Trump, oppose the fast-tracked timeline.
Got some news out of Milton now. People who own property in the town will be paying more in taxes. A 9% hike was approved this week by Milton Town Council. Works out to 3 cents per $100 of assessed property value. Mayor John Collier's blaming inflation for the increase, and citing reasons as the rising cost of town insurance, employee health care, and trash services. Still a lot more to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up on CoastTV News today, enjoying the meal, but not the bill. What police in Milford are saying about dine and dash occurrences being reported. And a thriller on the courts. The Delmarva Sports Network is showing us the volleyball showdown that took place in Georgetown.
Also, those old 5G poles in Dewey Beach, well, they are still standing despite new ones being installed. When Delmarva Power says crews are expected to remove them. Stay with us on CoastTV News today.
Fleischer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva.
We salute Paul and Gloria Petros, a dedicated couple who committed themselves to military service immediately after graduating from high school. Serving with distinction for 2 decades in the U.S. Navy, both Paul and Gloria were decorated with medals for their exemplary roles in Operation Iraqi Freedom and their significant contributions during the Gulf War.
If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to CoastTVSalutes.com.
McDonald's, Telemundo Delmarva 42, Pohanka of Salisbury, Lupton Mall, and the Voice Radio Network presents the Hispanic Festival 2023. Join us to celebrate the Latin American traditions, culture, dances, art, Latin American food, kids entertainment, 7 international artists, and the biggest taco festival in Georgetown. Sunday, September 17th at noon on Ray Street in Georgetown. Tickets are $15 and kids under 10 get in free. Sponsored by
The 11th Annual True Blue Jazz Festival is coming your way October 11th through 15th. The big bands, vocal divas, the virtuoso players like Camille Thurman and the Darryl Green Quartet, Bobby Sanabria's Multiverse Latin Jazz Big Band, Jerry Weldon, Terrell Stafford, Libby York, Paula Johns, the annual Big Band Jazz Marathon, ticketed and free concerts with great local and regional jazz acts in Rehoboth Beach and Lewis, Delaware for everyone. Make plans to be there at the 11th Annual True Blue Jazz Festival. Get your tickets now. See the complete schedule at truebluejazz.org.
You never know who you're helping by sharing your story. Showing girls that anything is possible.
Don't let nobody hold you down.
Teachers make all the difference in the world.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, Season 2, September 18th.
I love a good surprise. Oh my God! See the people, they're here for you. Ladies, let's go.
Wait a minute!
New season coming September 18th to Coast TV.
It's football season, and Delmarva Sports Network takes you into the action with Down and Distance, a new show with the Friday Night Lights matchup of the week, plus Delmarva players to watch, top plays of the week, Bayside and Henlopen Conference power rankings, and exclusive interviews with players and coaches. Tune in to DSN Fridays prior to our game of the night this fall season. Down and Distance, only on the Delmarva Sports Network. Local teams, big dreams.
6:41, sun's coming up on this Wednesday morning. Brightening skies after that torrential rain we had earlier. Dry Tech Cam, showing things beginning to brighten up. Looking at mostly cloudy skies. The rain has moved offshore. We even have clearing now of the eastern shore of Maryland back towards Annapolis. So we'll see some blue skies moving in as we go through the morning hours. There's still a cold front back to our west, right along the I-95 corridor, and that could trigger another shower into the afternoon. Out the door, 60s and 70s. Here's our UV index brought to us by Face of Grace, a practice in sun safety. We're high the next several days as far as the UV index, 6 today, then 7's Thursday on into Sunday. Make sure you have the higher SPF, midday shade, and limit your time outdoors. We have a fall-like air mass on the way. I'll talk about it coming up.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And we also have a battle over 5G poles in Dewey Beach. These poles still standing even after new utility ones like this replacing 5G had been installed over a month ago. And then an agreement was reached with Verizon to remove them after complaints. In a statement released exclusively to Coast TV News, Delmarva Power says it has followed all guidelines and crews are planning to remove old meters this week, at which point Verizon can remove the old poles.
Happening this morning, the Lewis Board of Public Works will conduct some hydrant flushing tests. The department says crews will start working on hydrants at 8 a.m. That's coming up. According to the department, you may experience some discolored water. If you do, they say just run cold water for a few minutes until your water is clear.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
What's going on, sports fans? We've had our first volleyball games of the season last night on DSN, and we start in Georgetown, Delaware. The Seahawks going for win number 1 in their home opener. Golden Knights looking to spoil it. First set, Sussex Academy up 7-6. Taylor Flaherty lasers it back over for the point. The Seahawks were looking good, up 22-18 at one point, but here comes Central. Leah Sheridan nats it at 24. Next point, both squads looking to grab a lead. Golden Knights set up the other Leah. That's Leah Lloyd, who fires a strike that just stays in. Central comes from behind to take set 1, 26-24. Second set was just as close, tied at 23 here. Central with another well-placed hit, but on the other end, it's Flaherty making the play of the game. That dig, and it drops in. To the third set, another close one, knotted at 23 here. Sussex Academy with a great look, but it's just wide. Central can grab rubber set now. Lloyd sets up for the serve, and what a time for an ace. The Golden Knights now just one set away from taking it. Set number 4, match point for Sussex Central Academy, trying to rally, looking for another well-placed hit, but that one goes just too far, and the visitors can celebrate. The Golden Knights notch a big road win, picking up their second win of the year in 4 sets. That'll for sports. Have a great day, everybody.
And the VMA goes to Taylor Swift.
Breaking news from overnight, and no surprise there, Taylor Swift dominates again at this year's MTV Music Video Awards with her second consecutive Video of the Year win. The singer-songwriter was on hand to accept her Moon Trophy for her anti-hero video. This was in New Jersey on Tuesday night.
Still to come, dine and dashing. What can seem like a small crime, saddling up for one business in Milford. We'll be back right after this.
Mark your calendars. The second annual OC Adventure Fest is set for September 22nd to the 24th. National music acts like Don McLean, hunting, fishing, gun show, canine working dog exhibition, and more. There will be something for everyone. Come join the fun. For more information and to purchase your tickets now, go to ocadventurefest.com.
Solo Cup Saturday night. It's an alternative country party with me, Jared. Brought to you by Midshore Recycling Incorporated. Saturdays at 7 on Coast Country, 103.9 and 106.3.
The Dots classic hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The Duck on 107.1, 105.1, and 104.3. The station where you know the words to every song.
WRDE weather brought to you by Window World of Delmarva. Simply the best for less.
Window World is the #1 replacement window company in the nation. Get a 10-window package, 4000 series white vinyl double hung windows for only $115 per month installed. 0% financing available for 18 months.
No matter the size of the project, you can trust Window World of Delmarva to get it done right.
10 windows installed from Window World of Delmarva for only $115 a month. Call today for a free estimate.
It is 6:47 on your Wednesday morning. That's a live look at Rehoboth Beach on our Boardwalk Plaza cam. Yeah, rain not falling anymore, but be careful if you're on the boardwalk.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a little wet.
some wet spots there. The good news, Paige and Bob, the sunshine's coming after all of that early morning rain.
Yeah, and perfect timing, too. We get the rain overnight while most of us, well, the majority of us are sleeping, others trying to get to work like we were. And we saw the heavens open around 3 a.m. till about 5 a.m. But we got most of the rain out of the way before the morning commute. And now I think we're pretty much dry the rest of the day as the heavy rain has moved offshore. Make sure you scan the QR code lower left part of your screen for the CoastTV weather app. Here's our 5-hour radar replay. And you can see that heavy rain that was moving through, really thunderous at times. And it was a lot of thunder and lightning. Now that rain has moved offshore. We're actually seeing some clearing now, eastern shore of Maryland. So I think we'll get into some sunshine as we go through the next couple of hours. There is a cold front along the I-95 corridor. That could trigger a shower later on. There's actually another cold front across the Ohio Valley, and that will push in some fall air. So we're thinking around 80 for the high today. No more hot and muggy weather for a while, thank goodness. Thursday, 77. Friday, 75. Saturday, 77. 82 on Sunday. All of this skies with much lower humidity. And out the door this morning, we've got 60s and 70s. Winds still coming out of the south, but eventually they will shift to the west, eventually northwest. Still an outside chance of a few light showers this morning. Mostly cloudy skies give way to partly cloudy, then mostly sunny conditions by noon. Upper 70s close to 80 across the board, and maybe even a few 81s, 82s as we go into the 3 o'clock hour. That cold front comes through, clears the coast. We clear it out for this evening. A beautiful evening if you're out and about. And then overnight, maybe a few more clouds with another push of cooler air. And then Thursday looking gorgeous. Lots of sunshine and north wind and temperatures in the upper 70s. Here's our muggy meter. We could say goodbye to the very humid conditions as we'll start to dry it out. We get into the very comfortable range into the week, into the weekend. It bounces up a little bit Sunday morning into the humid range, and then we dry things out after that. Here's Hurricane Lee now making that turn to the north and west, packing winds of 115, gusts to 140, and eventually it will turn due north, and it's going to move over cooler water. There was some upwelling from Hurricane Franklin, so we'll weaken from a Category 2 to a Category 1 as it moves well offshore and passing us well to our east Friday into Saturday. And here it is. It's a very compact storm, and it's really going to rake New England, making landfall perhaps just east of Cape Cod or into down east Maine. Tremendous waves, wind and rain there for us, just bigger waves, and we're looking at rip currents as well. In fact, Friday morning, we could see 4 to 8 foot waves Rehoboth Beach into Fenwick Island, and solid maybe 8 to 10 foot waves down in Ocean City, and much bigger waves offshore. So Friday might be a good sightseeing day to not go in the water, but just to look at the big waves, because they will be out there as we go into the evening hours. Once again, offshore, maybe some 12-footers, and then we'll start to see the waves diminishing as we go into Saturday as Lee pulls away. Your 7-day forecast courtesy of Paul Davis. 80 today, still a slight chance of a shower or storm. Then we start to dry it out. 70s into Saturday, lots of sunshine, cooler 50s at night beginning Friday morning.
Westside Restaurant, a small business that's operated in Milford for 25 years, is seeing more and more people skip out on paying their bill. According to Milford Police, this does seem to be a common occurrence, but it's not very often that it's reported to them. The owner of Westside Restaurant says it may seem like a minor wrongdoing, but ultimately it hurts her local family diner.
It may not be a lot, you know, it may only be like $15, $20, but that's $15, $20 that is still supporting our business.
The Milford Police Department is encouraging everyone to report incidents like this for investigation. It is 6:51 this morning. Time to check in with our coastal pet of the day, brought to you by Maggie's Pet Boutique.
And today's pet of the day is this very happy dog that we're showing you, Liza. Liza is so happy because, Paige, she was adopted from the Brandywine Valley SPCA by a loving family.
Aww.
And she loves car rides and hanging out at the beach.
Aww, and the color pink, apparently. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. Take a look at your screen.
Right, you can email us at content@WRDE.com. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature.
We're seeing the heavy rain pushing offshore right now, leaving us mainly cloudy. The sun will come out today, and we're looking at maybe another chance of a shower this afternoon with a cold front. Then we get into a fall air mass for the end of the week into the weekend, looking fantastic. I'll have all the details in your 10-day forecast coming up.
Party decor and more. The store that has all your party supply needs. Festive holiday decor, game day team supplies, balloons that are safe for the sky, announcing a special surprise, and of course, something for every birthday year that flies by. Party decor and more. The only party store at the beach. Midway Shopping Center in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Elevate your business and engage more customers with Draper Media. Our diverse network of media properties such as WBOC, WRDE, 93.5 The Beach, and 102.5 WBOC reaches over 500,000 Delmarva residents across various channels like television, radio, social media, and digital platforms. Enhance your brand's visibility across the Delmarva region with Draper Media. Our passionate team of media specialists and content creators are dedicated to showcasing your brand through engaging commercials, dynamic drone footage, eye-catching graphic and web design, and social media branding. Share your brand story on our popular programs, capturing the attention of your target audience. Trust your brand with Draper Media, a family-oriented company serving the Delmarva community. Contact Frank Hamilton today at fhamilton@wboc.com to get started.
Welcome to the Ride Home on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. First rule of the Ride Home, we definitely talk about the ride home. In fact, tell all your friends. Second rule of the Ride Home, we have fun. Top 10 Tuesday, Would You Rather Wednesday, and every day you pick the songs on the High Five. And the third rule of the Ride Home, we don't take ourselves too seriously. You've got enough to stress about. So let me handle the ride home, weekdays from 3 to 7 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3.
Delmarva Home Show. Explore the hidden house gems here on the peninsula. Exciting tours of stunning homes, charming cottages, and luxurious beachfront properties. Designer ideas and insider tips to help inspire your home decor. Discover the best of Delmarva's architecture and interior design. A showcase of the most unique and beautiful homes on Delmarva. Start your tour Sunday mornings at 11:30 on WBOC.
6:54. It's time for some things you need to know before you go. The manhunt continues for escaped convict Danilo Cavalcante. He remains at large in Chester County, PA, after stealing a firearm and fleeing from a homeowner's gunfire Monday night. Late night, just before 8 p.m., police say they also found a backpack that Cavalcante was carrying.
We've been tracking rip currents along our coast as warnings are in place this week. Well, since it is after Labor Day weekend, fewer Ocean City lifeguards are now patrolling the beaches. Before going for a swim, the Ocean City Beach Patrol wants people to call the lifeguard station and ask which parts of the beach are being patrolled that specific day.
We have an update on the work being done in the Lewis area to decrease the number of car crashes. It's the installation of a traffic light at Minos Conway Road and Route 9. That traffic light is coming after numerous severe crashes and concerns of safety from neighbors. The project is expected to be finished by mid-October. Happening today, traffic update out of Rehoboth Beach in just a few hours. The city says the drawbridge on Rehoboth Avenue will be undergoing some routine maintenance. The bridge will be raised and opened starting at 10 a.m. All right, McDonald's says it's phasing out what has become a signature part of the fast food experience, self-serving soda stations.
Yeah, this means you'll no longer be handed an empty cup by an employee to fill up at the soda fountain on your own.
Yeah, according to the food chain, the change is intended to create a consistent experience for both McDonald's workers and their customers at all ordering points. I don't know what that means, but as long as I can get refills on my Diet
Yeah, that's
Coke.
my question. Will you get the refills?
And will
Is
they
this a
be
way to stop the refills?
free refills?
Big fast food coming at you.
All right, we'll come back to that story another day. For right now, it's 6:56, so let's take a look at your forecast.
Yeah,
before we
one
head out the
final
door.
check with First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey.
I think the translation on that is no refills.
I think you're right, Bob.
I can't get behind that.
I'm not going to, I don't like that. Because I think most people go back for just a little more. And, you know, it might be tough. Anyway, be ready for puddles out the door this morning. The heavy rain has moved away. I think we'll get into some sunshine as temperatures warm from the 70s into the low 80s. The actual cold front slides through this afternoon. Could trigger another shower storm, not to the degree of the rain that we saw this morning. Your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 80 today, and then it's smooth sailing. We're looking at a nice fall air mass building in. Look at the highs into the mid-70s Thursday and Friday. And overnight lows into the upper 50s beginning Friday morning. It has that crisp feel to the air heading into the weekend. 50s in the morning, highs in the 70s and 80s into the afternoon. We are going to see huge waves from offshore Hurricane Lee and rip currents as well. That's the hazard Friday on into the weekend and looking really nice into next week.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us on Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
We'll be back with Coast TV News midday at 11, so stick with us.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, go ahead and download our Coast TV news and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.